Yes.
Something more?
Yes. When my father croaked, he sent me a wonderful message in the night about how he was eager and young and well, and he didn't even have time to talk.
He's not young, he's older than ever.
Yes, he looked young, and he didn't even have time. He just yelled, "It's all as we talked about, Charlotte," and then he went on to something really exciting. And then a few months later, he gave me a message, as I understood it, from a former life when I was in a cave, and I was a bearer of knowledge, writing things down, and I was not supposed to get out of that cage if I didn't want to say that the humans are not free.
Well, it's important that we give you this.
Yes.
Because the conversation that we just had and before and what's coming next, we want you to feel the power, importance of now.
Yes.
And we want you to know that your father or any of us who are non-physically focused, we are not ever looking back. Not back at what you did yesterday, and certainly not back at your past life.
So what was it then?
So it's your translation of something. Undoubtedly, you're needing to justify something here and now. In other words, what was the message?
It was something about that I should understand that the way I suppressed myself in my life maybe had to do with something between him and me. Something about understanding that I suppressed myself and I didn't have to do it anymore.
That would very likely be a message that he would send you. But what was the thing about the cave and the past life and the being locked in and the not being able to get out? Who made that up?
I don't know. That's what I saw. Do you think did I just make that up?
No, you didn't make it up. You saw it clearly, but what we meant was, where did you get it? And it gives us this opportunity to explain something really important to you.
Yes.
So you have the understanding of how you were non-physical and now you're here, and how you've put things into the vortex and now the vortex is unfolding for you. You understand all of that scenario. And so as you feel the importance of your relationship with your inner being now, and and this is the key part, as you care mostly about how you feel so that you can sync up with what your inner being knows, then the messages come clearly. Now here's what we mean. Your inner being, which includes your father, in other words, all of these non-physicals who adore you, who know you, many of them who you knew, many of them you don't know, calling you to the fullness of who you are, to where they stand and to the fullness of who you are. But what you hear has to do with where you are. In other words, you're translating through your whatever state of being you're in. So let's say you're all frisky, you're feeling good, you're high-flying, you've been meditating, you've been appreciating, you've had your feet in the water, you're really in a good state of being, and your inner being is calling you towards some idea or some thought, and when you hear it purely. And there's a gold dress.
Yes. Yes.
But what if you are discouraged or vulnerable or feeling depressed or worried about something? And so then your inner being is calling you, but you translate it in a way that sounds quite different. Your inner being still called you. Your inner being is still calling you, but what you're hearing has to do with your ability to hear. You see what we're getting at?
But do you know what the message was from your point of the vortex then? If it wasn't the cage and suppressing and all of that?
Feels utterly meaningless and distorted to us in every way.
Really? Why doesn't it feel meaningless to me?
Because you are the translator of it. In the same way you paint pictures,
Yes.
you're painting that picture. There's something there's a belief that you hold
Yes.
that image validates. It's the reason that people look for past life regression. And we always say, we don't know if you're getting somebody else's, your past
Yes.
life or somebody else's, but one
I've
thing
heard
is
that.
certain, it is a vibrational match to how you're feeling right now.
Yes.
Or at the time that you received it. So, we're not asking you to just jump into the knowing that we hold.
Yeah.
We're just saying to you that your inner being is aware of where you are in this powerfully focused moment in relationship to where you want to be. And that's the conversation that's always going on. And if you're hearing something else, then you're translating it from some point of view that your inner being is not offering.
Very good.
Your inner being would never tell you a story to validate your bondage. Your inner being will never tell you a story to justify your feeling of inadequacy or your feeling of being caged. Your inner being is not telling you those kind of stories. You see that stuff at the movies. That's not coming from your inner being.
Interesting.
Enough?
No, can I ask more? Is that okay? It's just about decisions, because I kind of like to live in the now and flow into a moment, and then...
Well, we like hearing that from you. Is it true?
Sometimes, yes. And then I'm married.
So then why did we just spend so much time talking about some dream, about some cage,
You're
and some
right.
past life? Both can't be true.
You're right. That's why I'm sitting here, because I get kind of confused about myself.
We just want you to make choices, to understand that you're making the choices.
Yes.
That your now is as confused as you make it, or as clear as you make it.
So how do I make it very clear?
By caring about how you feel and not spending any time talking about something that doesn't feel good when you tell the story.
Yes.
So we'll ask you the question. First, we'll ask them the question. Did you like the cave story? Did you like the cage story? Did you enjoy her bondage? Did you like it? So why tell the story? Because there's a belief that you should just talk about anything that you think. In other words, it's really interesting. We love you humans so much, but you are really interesting creatures in this way. Because we know it's a big price that we're asking you to pay to think thoughts of happiness. and we're doing a good sales job to try to get you to understand the benefit of that. But there's really something interesting when you're willing to go to a past life to dig up stuff to worry about.
That's right. That's right. But this thing about living in the now, I like that part of the time.
Good, because you have no other choice. You can't focus other
That's
than
right.
now. You can't focus other than now. In other words, whether you're exploring past, present, or future, you're doing it now. And this is the part about now that we really want you to feel. Right now, your inner being is focused right now at the same time that you are focused right now. In other words, we can call it a physical and a non-physical dimension, but it's all happening right now. It's all consciousness focused now. So when you get it, that your inner being is focused with you now, and has a perspective, you might say an opinion, while you do not like the word opinion very much, because you don't want someone to have an opinion about what you should do. But when it's the you of you, of you, of you, of you, maybe you could accept the opinion a little bit. But your inner being has a perspective of here and now. Your inner being has a perspective of everything that you're about, of every conversation that you have, of every subject that you're upon. Your inner being has a perspective about it. And the emotion that you feel is your indicator of the variance between the perspective of your inner being and the perspective of you. So if you want to feel good, you just have to kind of mess around with it a little bit until you find it. Esther's granddaughter, Kate, played a game with Jerry and Esther when she was very little. It was her favorite game and theirs too. They would go into the big building, into the big center room where the Abraham Hicks Publications is. And at that time, the room had no furniture in it. It was just a big room and lots of carpet and not much else going on in there. And Kate would hide a button somewhere in the room, behind a drapery or up under something or on a ledge or on a windowsill, she would hide this button. And it was Jerry and Esther's job to find it. And Kate knew where it was, and she wanted them to find it. She was little enough then that she was not yet wanting to play tricks on them. She wanted them to find the button, and she liked knowing that she could give them the clues. So she would say, "You're getting warmer, you're getting warmer, you're getting warmer, you're getting colder, you're getting colder." And Jerry would get a sense of which direction it was, and then he would deliberately go the other way, just so that she would have variety in her clues. And she would get so animated as she would say, "No, no, it's colder, that's colder, that's colder, that's colder." And it's the same thing. That negative emotion means that's further, that's more resistant, that's more resistance, that's more resistance, that's further from what you want, that's further away, that's further away. You're getting closer, you're getting closer, you're getting closer, you're getting closer. And so feel the power of your emotions and understand that your inner being knows where everything is. And all of that is given to you now. Not before and not later. Now. It's all now. Every emotional experience you have is now. Which means your relationship between your inner being and you is now. Which means everything that your inner being knows about you and your inner being is broadcasting to you, it's all happening now. And you translate it, if you will translate it first through emotion. In other words, don't try to translate it into sounds. Don't try to translate it into words. Don't try to translate it into things that I should go do right now. Just translate it into how does it feel? How does it feel? How does it feel? Until you zero in, till you tune in, till you hone in on the vibrational frequency of happy, of feeling good. And then once you maintain that vibration for a while, then what happens is that happy, which is a vibration which you are translating in your solar plexus, moves into thoughts that you are translating into words, which you are translating into impulses, that you are translating into action, that you are translating into full-blown manifestations of all nature.
Thank you. But you did say to me that it was easier with my painting than my writing. Could you help me with a focus wheel or rampage on writing?
They are equal.
They're equal?
They are equal. It's time for you to go.
Thank you. Thank you.